Hello and welcome to Metro AV TechTips Solutions. I'm Brent.
I'm Adam.
And before he gets into his spiel, I'd like to remind everybody that ISE 2022 is coming up May 10th through 11th in Barcelona, Spain, which is why I'm wearing our ISE soccer jerseys.
God willing, and the creek don't rise. You're going to Barcelona,
yes,
right?
And COVID and war and everything else doesn't shut us down.
Sure. And to all of our viewers over in Europe and whatnot, y'all are really close to everything going on over there. And
yes, but
I'm glad you're going and instead of me. In
just
this
for
case.
what it's worth, I just checked out our hotel location. We are 2 blocks from Laid Back Beach.
Okay.
So very excited about that. So
sure
what is today's show about, Adam?
Okay, so today's show, we are going to be...
Go through your spiel first.
Okay. As always, everybody, like, share, subscribe, hit the little bell notification to let you know whenever we do go live, which, of course, is every Wednesday at 3 p.m. And today's a special case because we are live today on Friday.
We're not live every other Friday?
Nope, we're not. Every other Friday is a pre-recorded episode, but we are in the comments and in the chat watching to see what's going on. So if you have questions about something that we're talking about on our Friday show, please still leave it over in the chat section or down in the comment section, and we'll respond to those as well, just through text. Now, of course, hit the little bell to let you know whenever we do go live, which of course is every Wednesday, or to let you know whenever we upload a new video. And there are more and more videos on their way, so keep an eye out for those.
And there'll be some awesome videos coming back from Barcelona.
Yeah.
Just to taunt and tease mostly you.
Understood. Yes.
Because you don't get to go.
So today, what we're going to be talking about, we'll go ahead and hit the little button here to make it go all the way over there, is what is the CS-HDFBREXT-VLC?
Well, it's a fiber extender, but why are we discussing a fiber extender on today's show?
Well, this last Wednesday we talked about fiber. We showed up close using the little microscope that we have here, and actually showed up close what it looks like when you terminate fiber and what it should look like along the way.
And what the process is to do it.
Right.
And how easy it has become.
Exactly. And to kind of help, distill any worries or concerns of anybody who is still unsure of whether or not they should do fiber in their installations.
You mean dispel.
Dispel. What did I say?
Distill.
Distill.
You do that with your liquor.
Distill. I mean, we're trying to bring it back down to
you're
reaching.
So we have the HDMI fiber extender today.
Yes, we do. So what we're going to do today, it's going to be a little bit different than what we normally do. We're going to do the what, the who, the why, the where, and the how.
Yeah, you said that, and you actually had answers for all those things.
I did.
You did.
I did, right?
So
it worked out pretty well.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
So let's get going.
Yeah, so the what, of course, is the extender. So let's go ahead, we'll do a top-down shot. This is brand new from the warehouse. We'll go ahead and open it up.
Yeah, which is actually kind of unusual because most of the time when we show something in TechTips Solutions, it's one of our pieces here.
Yes.
However, that piece is actually out in the field being used right now. So
yes, it is, exactly.
Which is why we're live today.
Yep. So there's this piece here. We'll go ahead and open it up, and we'll see what's going on. But before we open it, I want to show the back of it here so you can see what's going on with that. Of course, we've got a nice packaging for it. This is great if you are a distributor, putting it on the shelves for your dealers to take a look at, or if you're an integrator, it's just nice showing up with an actual box.
The other side of it that's very nice is if you're using QR codes or barcodes for your inventory maintenance, on the back of that is the barcode, which makes it easy to track if you're using one of the apps to do so.
Yep, it's got the UPC code there.
On the front, it does have all the important information, number one of which is OM3 and 300 meters.
That's right. So this is designed to be used with OM3 fiber. It has the modules specifically for that, and it can go up to 300 meters.
Which is just under 1,000 feet in English.
That's right. So from there, it supports up to 4K 60 HDR, and literally I'm just going to read from the back of the unit here. You can also find this information on the website, or if you have our catalog, you can also find it in our catalog, which we had an episode about our catalog just a few weeks ago. So definitely go check that video out.
Which was a great episode, particularly our repair tools.
Yes, definitely check that out. So from there, we, of course, like I said, we support 4K 60 HDR. It supports the HDMI 2.0 and HDCP 2.2. It's compatible with multimode fiber with LC connectors. So we have the tag here. Again, it's kind of like the 568A or B. We have the tag here to say it's OM3 multimode, but we have to say something to say what type of fiber to use for it. Technically, if you had OM4 fiber, it would also work, because so long as you have an LC connector on the end of it.
OM2 is questionable.
Yeah.
And there's still some OM2 out there. Please avoid it.
Yeah. Transmission distance up to 300 meters or 984 feet. Supports
very close to 1,000.
Right. Supports bidirectional IR, and it includes the receiver and the emitters.
Does it support serial?
It does. RS-232 bi-directional as well. We include the mounting tabs, and of course the LC SFP modules are included. And we're actually going to get into that.
What we do not include is the LC terminations to go on your bulk fiber.
That's right, and that actually we do sell separate. You can find those parts on our website as well. If you go there, you can actually find it under the fiber section. You'll find all the terminations there,
as well as a full termination kit.
So these are the parts right here on top, and I'm actually going to pull these out and set them off to the side, because I want to go into this and see what's in there.
The packaging is excellent in this.
Yeah, we really like the packaging on this one.
So wow. Lots of emitters,
yep,
flashers.
So you'll notice that there are 2 power supplies. Brent, why are there 2 power supplies?
Because this is fiber, it must be powered at both ends.
At both ends, that's correct. So we'll take those out and set them off to the side. We also have in here the IR components. We have 2 IR receivers. Again, this is bi-directional. Or targets. These are bi-directional, which means that you can have a receiver on the TV, and you can also have one back at the rack where all the rest of the equipment is, so you can send signals back and forth. And just like I said before, it's bi-directional, so there are 2 IR emitters in here as well, so those are available for that. Next, we have the ears. So these, of course, are just the regular ears that attach to the side of the unit so that you can mount it onto the wall. Or some kind of surface mount of some kind. If you have it inside of a rack, you need to mount it to the side of the rack or whatever else.
Blank plate.
Yep. Last, of course, we have our manual.
No, that's not last. Look in there some more.
Ah, there it is. You peeked. We have the RS-232 Phoenix plugs. So and this is, of course, all set up for that. There are 2 because it is bi-directional, and you need 2 because if you're doing RS-232, you need it for both sides. Then, of course, we have our manual. This goes through all the information about how the device is to be used and what it can support.
It's actually written in English and gives you important information as you're tying into your control systems.
Yep. Yep. Almost there.
One more page back.
Other direction. You're looking for the IR.
Yes, I am.
Yep. Keep going. One more. And there you go.
Everything you need to know about your IR connectivity.
Yep. Has the pinouts and everything there.
We are a firm believer in sharing the basic information with you because you do need to know it.
Exactly. So from there, we have the modules. We'll open up this one first here. We'll get the packaging out of the way.
Little white foam packaging.
So we have, this is the transmitter on this one. Perfect on this one. We'll do the receiver next. But on the transmitter here, you'll see we have our 12-volt DC power supply connector here. This is a threaded connector, so you don't have to worry about over time that connector coming loose. We have our SFP module, and it's pre-installed in this location. There's a little rubber protector for that as well, but we can take a look at it here when you pull it out and see what it looks like for that.
Now, the nice thing about that is if something does happen to the SFP module, those can be replaced.
Yes, they can.
So you don't have to replace the entire extender.
Yep. We have HDMI input, we have IR in and IR out, and our RS-232 connection is here as well. There's also a mini USB connector here on the side. That's for updating the firmware of this unit. So far, there is not a firmware update necessary for this unit, so as of the release of this video, so don't see that and think that you need it. As of this video, there is not, but check the website. If there is one, the instructions and the firmware will be there as well. On the front of the unit, we have our power, optical, and HDMI feedback lights. This, of course, power just means that there is power getting to this unit. You have power plugged in and it's working there. Optical means that you actually have a communication on the SFP module over the fiber to the other side. Device. Yep. Then, of course, our HDMI is a signal telling us that we are connected to an HDMI source of some kind.
And at both ends, you have a link.
Yep, exactly. So then from there, on our receiving side, again, it's going to look very similar. On the front, we have power, optical, and HDMI. Then, of course, here on the back, it looks almost identical, so don't get these two mixed up. This one is the receiver. It does say on there. That one is the transmitter. It does say on there as well.
Now, the one thing to remember is receiver means it's the receiving side. Don't put it at the receiver.
Yeah, don't put it at your AVR, your surround sound receiver.
And you think that's funny, but we do get that call.
It happens. And on here, again, like I said, we've got the DC 12-volt connector here. Again, it is threaded. We have the SFP module here with a nice little rubber boot to help protect that connection. We have the HDMI out, the IR in, IR out, RS-232, and again, a firmware update port there as well.
And one of the really nice things about this is they both have the part number on the top.
Yep.
So if you have any questions when you get to a job site what it is,
it's also on the bottom.
It's also on the bottom.
Now, one thing that I do want to call out on this is I do want to call out, and this is on almost every single one of our products that we have, I want to call it the fact that these are ventilated. And they're ventilated very well. We have vents on the top, the bottom, and on either side of this. And the nice thing, the reason why that's important is because this is taking an electrical signal and it's converting it from electric over to light. And so that's going to generate a little bit of heat. Yes, exactly.
And not a single laser, it's multiple lasers.
Yep, exactly. There we go. Now we're back. Okay, so that's the what, right? So,
okay, what's the next question?
Who? Who should use this?
Well, anybody moving forward to protect themselves going forward in the installation, so they know there's no limit to what they can accomplish. When I got a call yesterday from a dealer. Job was installed in 2000. They need to find out how to make coax, 5 of them.
Yes.
Go to 4K.
Yeah.
Well, you really can't. Well, you know, what about SDI? 1080p is fine. And there are some compression schemes out there that some guys are using to run HDMI 4K over coax, but our experiment has not been overly friendly with them as far as picture quality. So not a big fan of them, which is why we don't have them.
Sure.
Fiber is certainly the most open. And one of the nice things with fiber is you can take one of our AOC cables, like the install bay or the VLOX, and as it comes to end of life for its personal technology, you cut the end off, terminate it with LC or whatever the termination du jour is. And you put an extender in there.
Exactly.
Big fan of the growth ability of fiber over copper.
So the who on this one really comes down to the person that's installing fiber or has an AOC HDMI in the wall already that they can chop the end of it off, right?
Yes.
So now we have the where. Where should this be installed? Well, pretty simply and straightforward. If you used any other kind of HDMI extender, anytime you're going over any kind of distance, then with those, you need to make sure that you have some kind of device to extend that signal over that distance. Now, luckily, with these, you have your transmitter. The transmitter goes at the source side. So this is where your cable box, the Blu-ray player, the Apple TV, the whatever else is located, or where you have your surround sound receiver, not the receiver here, but the surround sound receiver.
AVR.
Your AVR. This will be plugged in at that location. So this is the piece that's actually sending the signal, right? The transmitter is sending the signal out to the display. Then, of course, you have the receiver. Now, the receiver is going to go at the display. Very straightforward. That's going to go on that side of it. You're going to have your fiber coming into it. You need power. Then, of course, if you're doing IR or RS-232, and then your output, your HDMI output. This is a recommendation. This is a best practice that we have learned as we've learned about the extenders. And even when it comes to HD-Base-T or other types of extenders out there, 2 meters. Do a 2-meter HDMI cable on the output of these extenders.
It does keep you from overloading the input side. Now, let me ask you a question on this, because with extenders, we have a minimum distance on the category cable of about 70 feet.
Yes.
20 meters.
Yes.
What is the minimum distance for fiber?
At this point in time, there isn't.
Because the light does not work the same way the electrical signal does.
Right. There is a possibility of overdriving in a receiving part, but usually we're talking, you know, within inches of extending it. So we actually had a length of fiber that we were using on the Wednesday episode where we had it plugged into that. That distance, I would say that's too short. And truth be known, if you were going that kind of distance,
should just be in a copper.
You should just be on an HDMI cable.
Or use an AOC.
Yeah.
Because the size of this is...
Yep, exactly. So from there, let's see, who, what, where, when. When should these be used?
Anytime they want to prepare for the future, which is every job.
And I would actually say on top of that, these can also act as project saving devices.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So in the event where you have run an AOC cable backwards, because those are directional.
And it does happen.
And it does happen to the best of us. Has never happened to me.
Is that crickets? I'm sorry. Was that crickets I heard?
So use it in that case where the cables run backwards. Then maybe one of the strands, because usually the AOC has 4 strands of OM3 fiber.
I don't. To date, they all do.
Yeah, to date they all do. But those 4 strands of OM3 fiber, maybe one of them has been broken or has fractures in it, but the rest of them are okay. Maybe it's not good enough for the signal for the AOC at that point, but you can still use one of those for this here. Exactly.
And you have the other one open, or other 1 or 2 for whatever else you might add, networking or control or automation.
So then one of the last ones, and shortly after this we have one more, but we have the why. Why would you use ours over anyone else's?
Well, first off, ours is very good. Secondly, what makes ours special?
You have us.
You have us. Plus Stuart, plus Lewis.
Yes, of course.
Plus an excellent sales staff to fill your needs.
Well, and on top of that, we try to be as competitive as possible when it comes to items like this. I'll have to check with the sales team, but I'm pretty sure that we're one of the best priced ones out there for right now.
And certainly amongst the best tech support.
Yes, of course. Award-winning.
Of course, we're modest. And award-winning,
We
as you
are
said.
award-winning. So from there, we have the last bit of how to use this. And that pretty much covers what we've already talked about. Main thing is you just want to make sure you have fiber in the wall, OM3 fiber.
Power.
Yep, have it powered on both sides. You want to make sure that if you need IR, you're using the IR components, or you can use the CS-IRCC if you're using a control system to feed directly into the IR
Which
input.
is a mono mini to stereo mini adapter.
Correct, and then of course you have the emitter on the other side, or it's pass back as well, so it's bi-directional, so you can have an IR at the display receiver, and then you can output at the source side
And if you
instead.
do want a smaller IR target, we do carry one.
That's right. From there, of course, we also have the RS-232. So if you need to use RS-232, the how of that, you would have to, you do need to have the connection from that piece or from this piece to both sides where you're communicating with the device itself. Right. But you're going to be using the Phoenix connector in order to make that connection. So you'll need to make that connection there.
RX, TX, and ground.
Yep, exactly. And on these here, it actually shows, let me go switch over here to our top-down shot. It does actually show you here, you have TX, ground, and RX. So you have that nice ground in the middle, so you don't have to worry about shorting anything out. So, with that, everybody, thank you for joining us on today's episode of AV Tech Tips Solutions. If you want more information about the CS-HDFBREXT-VLC,
wow.
it's not the longest one. It's not the longest one.
You did read it, though.
But I did read it. So definitely check out this one. Reach out to your sales rep, reach out to your distributor to find out about availability and pricing. I know that it is available now, and I don't know the pricing, and I'm supposed to talk about it here on live.
However, I do think there's an excellent video on this product on the website by you.
Probably. It's probably been a while since I've actually made it, but yeah, I'm sure it's on there.
Any more questions, you can reach out to Adam at...
Yep, adam.rogers@metroav.com.
And I'm Brent at brent.mccall@metroav.com.
Yep.
202-6137, area code 386.
And then 386-202-6132 is my number as well. Or you can reach us here on our tech support line as well. 386-492-8584 is our tech support line. We'll be happy to help you out. Listen, these things are great for fixing a problem. They're also great for when you're designing a system. Give us a call ahead of time. Yep, give us a call ahead of time. We'll help spec out the job for you, or with you rather, so that you can find the best possible solution for what you're trying to deal with. We would love to be ahead of a problem rather than trying to fix something after the fact.
And don't forget, ISE's coming up in May. Please join us there.
Yep. So Brent, with that,
I'm Brent.
I'm Adam.
Reboot early.
Reboot often.
Don't cut your wires too short.
Turn off CEC.
Call tech support.
And make sure your HD base T is 20 meters.
Exactly. Have a great weekend.
We'll see y'all later.